Hi, everyone, and welcome to McRae's Growth Challenge podcast, Insight with B2B and manufacturing leaders, where we uncover their stories, strategies, and solutions to overcoming growth challenges in their industries. I'm your host, Maria, and in each episode, we will dive deep with founders, CEOs, and industry experts to explore how they scale and innovate in today's competitive landscape. So let's get started. Today we have Laura from Mission Solar. Nice to have you. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Laura, tell me a little bit about your role with Mission Solar and how did the company get started?
I am the Director of Marketing and Communications here at Mission Solar. We have been around since 2014. So, at this point, Mission Solar is the longest running manufacturer of solar panels in the United States.
Nice. And what you mentioned that you are in the marketing role. How have you seen over your years in the company how the landscape, specifically with marketing, has changed when it comes to trying to attract or reach more B2B companies?
So, I would say that the biggest thing that's changed is just the number of ways that you can reach people. Before I would say there was search, that was always super important. Social media, there was one or two channels. And now, I mean, in addition to search, we have AI that we've got to be on. We've got, so many different social media platforms that host all sorts of different kinds of content. There's podcasts. There's just so much. I would say that just in general, the marketing landscape has become much more fragmented, but also a lot more opportunity.
That's awesome. And how has this changed? How did these changes affect your sales department?
I guess I'm lucky. I work very closely with sales here at Mission Solar, and we've always had a really close relationship with a sales team that really understands what the future is and wanting to stay on trend. So I would say, like, as the marketing landscape has changed, it's been easy to bring the sales folks on along on that journey. They've always been very open and interested in trying new tools, new techniques, and new channels.
That's awesome. With regards to your sales and marketing, I know that traditionally B2B has relied a lot on like network and trade shows and a lot of outreach, cold outreach. The changes that you've been making, have you guys also been able to give them more opportunities with like warm inbound leads as opposed to them constantly just having to go and hunt?
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that we continue to really work on. At the end of the day, I'm a firm believer that in person, just very like person to person marketing sales is always the best. That's like always what you want to strive for. But obviously, it's not very efficient. We've got to continue finding new ways to market, but creating that same kind of warmth and authenticity through the maybe not so actually in person.
Yeah, so like when some like your whole digital footprint basically, right? Like when somebody even just searches your name, no matter where and how it comes up, right?
That's correct. So we want to make sure that every touch point with our customers is authentic and human, even if it isn't necessarily either of those things.
How have you noticed that customer expectations have changed, whether it's, the delivery of the service itself, or maybe some of the information they have to know about you before they decide to work with you, or maybe anything that really has been changing with the customer expectations throughout the whole beginning to end
Right.
journey?
I definitely have a couple of thoughts here. So on the front end of the journey, um, customers are coming to us just way more informed and educated about our product. Because of things like AI, they can go search, find out everything about us, and come to us just kind of like, as we say in marketing, kind of in the middle of the funnel rather than at the top. And so we've had to adjust our tactics to make sure that we have a more whenever they're visiting our website, we have deeper information than just kind of like high level, entry level information about our brand. We need to be prepared to speak with more informed and ready to buy customers. So I would say that that is one big change that I've seen over the years on kind of the top of the funnel. The other thing that I think has really changed is people's expectations in regards to service and response time. And people expect you know, product to be delivered very fast, but they also expect the service to be delivered almost instantaneously. And we really pride ourselves at Mission Solar on having a 100% domestic service team that supports our customers. So, because we are domestic, because we are humans answering the phone, that's been a challenge. We are starting to implement some more automation, but again, like I said, like the most important thing to us is to remain human and relatable, and just there for the customer, not necessarily only a digital experience.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so interesting you said that because recently I've had conversation with quite a few companies that aren't necessarily in your industry, but they're running through the same type of challenges where the landscape is becoming so competitive that if you don't respond to the customer like instantly for their request, they're just gone. Like they're already moving on to something else, or like you starting to have these like spiral of negative experiences, and then you have to like backtrack. A lot of them are working on using AI to set up systems for themselves in order to make sure that as they scale, they can actually handle that. Seems like you've having a similar experience. Can you talk a little bit about like the systems that you guys are putting in place, maybe some of the technology that you guys are using to improve that side of the business?
Well, I mean, we are relying more on automation, whether it be on our website, whether it be just through the customer service channels, but it's been kind of a challenge to strike a balance between, you know, what's best served digitally and what's best served via an actual human.
Mhm.
Because in some circumstances, I mean, most of the sales process and marketing process, at this point, it's possible to do that without ever having any kind of interaction with our brand at all. I mean, we sell through distribution to installers. Those installers may never have like an in-person contact with Mission Solar until it's time for technical support or warranty support or something like that. So we want to make sure if we have this one moment to touch an end user, we want to do it in a way that is supportive and warm and human rather than just digitally. So I think that we use these platforms more to facilitate a clean and easy process to a human at the end, rather than just completely automating the entire thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely think that at the end of the day, humans are still going to buy from humans. And if they have a very urgent problem, they still rather talk to a real human being who can solve it to them. And I think as the world will move on with automations and AI and technology based tools, I think we still have like a really long way to go before we replace all human contact, because I think that's also part of it is like trust,
Yeah,
right? And
absolutely. But again, it's about striking a balance because there's some things where people they don't want to dig through our website. They don't want to talk to a person. They want to find what they want when they want it and now. And so that's also a challenge on the marketing side is,
yeah.
making sure that we have everything in place for that quick self-serve when they need it, but also a good, way to get to us whenever they have bigger problems that require human touch. So.
This is so interesting that you touched on that. When it comes to actually people finding the answers that they're looking for, let's say directly on your website, it sounds so simple, but it's actually so hard to actually do because a lot of companies think that, you have a modern website, looks nice, says the basics, and that's good enough. But that's just not the case. Like you really have to put yourself in the shoes of the users and the people who are finding your information and really understand what is it exactly that they're looking for and how to deliver it to them instantly. Like that should be the first thing that they see. It's a much more complicated process than people realize, but you have done really well.
Thank you. We're trying very hard.
Yeah. I was sharing with you before we start recording. So here at McCrae's, one of our biggest thing that we help people with, whether they come to the podcast or just our clients, we give them a really realistic lands view of their landscape, and their whole digital footprint. And it's very rare that I would open that up for one of the guests on the podcast, and they're already ranking on AI generative tools. So obviously you know a thing or two about the fact that you need to think in terms of findability. Can you talk a little bit about your process? Like, has that always been something that you were aware of that was really important? Is that something that you learned in your years in marketing? Like, how did you get so good at this?
Well, thank you. That is too kind, and thank you. We have a long way to go. But
Yeah.
I think it really starts with just trying once again to get back to like what does the user want? What does the user need? And if we're supplying that content, it's going to do well on search, and turns out it's going to do pretty well in AI too. So again, just like really thinking about what the customers need, what questions they have, what questions do they not maybe even know that they have yet, and just constantly be creating content around that. Now AI is on the scene, we have to maybe structure things a little bit differently. But in the end, it really is about just focusing on what the user needs and what questions they have, and really prioritizing them in the space rather than building it out for what we want or what we think that they need.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's really not about what you think or I think. It's about what your user thinks. What is your process of actually getting to that idea? Do you guys have multiple people in-house who are content strategists? Do you guys like outsource? How do you work through that process? Because it's a very lengthy process.
We do some outsourcing. We have a very small team, a very small marketing team. Um, what I try to do to help, feed the content, talk to sales. They're the ones who know the customers. They're the ones who, understand what their pain points are, and how we're solving it. Um, I am not going to lie, I'm a pretty big fan of AI. So, that's my love of AI. I don't think I'm alone. I know that other people are using it too. And so, therefore, our brand is going to show up there. So, just thinking about myself as a consumer, and how I think about things, just kind of always keeping that process in mind helps too. But again,
Which
it's just about knowing your customer
Yeah, which AI platform you would say has been the most life-changing for you so far, at least in your role at work?
at work and in life. Oh, I
Yeah, in
hope I can.
life,
I can I can I endorse a specific platform?
Of
I
course.
call her Chatty.
Okay.
Chat GPT
Okay.
is definitely the one that I use, but it's everywhere now. I mean, AI has. I mean, AI. Google has AI summaries before you even get
Yeah.
to the search articles
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting too to see how it's evolved over time, just chat gpt and its capabilities. So yeah, I would say that's my favorite, even though hopefully they'll be sending me a check soon for that endorsement.
Yeah. AI is just truly mind blowing, and ChatGPT is one. And I think people are so used to Google being the only one that now that there's new competitors, it's like, oh, interesting. All these
Right.
new ways to explore the internet now. um yeah, I know for us, like, so we're an AI based digital agency. So we use AI not only for our processes, but we build custom solutions for our clients using AI as well, in order for them to appear and be found and across all platforms. And despite us using so much AI and implementing it for our clients as well, one thing we can all agree on is that it has not replaced human creativity yet. It's like you still need a human creative brain giving the right type of prompts. Is that what you found as well?
Yes, absolutely. I think AI is good for a first draft. Um, and completing tasks that like write something real quick. I need like a paragraph about this, and I think it's good for those little snippets, the first drafts.
Yeah.
Brainstorming, I think it's great for brainstorming and kind of ideation, things like that. But yeah, at the end of the day, you got to have a human that knows what they're doing to kind of finish the process.
Oh, have you since you guys have a pretty small marketing team, and maybe this is not just in this role, maybe it's in any of your other roles, but and you have worked with agencies and currently outsourcing, um if we were thinking about, like, we all have some bad experiences, but like maybe like one unfortunate experience with either an agency or internally a marketing project that was supposed to do so well, but then kind of didn't and you had to
Yeah,
pivot.
um, there's I've had some agency relationships in the past that I think just for whatever reason it just didn't work out. Um, and I was a little bit younger in my career, so perhaps it wasn't just them, perhaps it was me.
I might be the problem.
Maybe I was the problem a bit, but I think that looking back on it, it was more of an alignment issue, making sure that we were both seeing things the same way. It was specifically a digital marketing firm where, I mean, we were having some issues with like understanding who our end user was and how to reach them. And then within the budget we were working, it was just there was a lot
Yeah.
of things that were kind of working against that relationship. So, um, yeah, I mean, there's definitely been some of that. I hope that I've gotten better over the years. I know that I can still probably be kind of a pain to work with, but um,
What makes you say that?
I don't know. I'm just picky, um, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So nothing like terrible, like they gave you a name and you had to like change it, like they tried to rebrand your whole company when you literally asked for a website update or
No, I really haven't had anything major like that.
okay.
No, fortunately.
Do you think in the future for other B2B companies it's important? Okay, let me ask you this. What do you think in the next 5 years or even 3 years, marketing departments specifically for B2B companies need to really focus on and put a lot of effort into?
So, 3 to 5 years. I think that trying to understand how AI is replacing search is something that I'm definitely thinking a lot about, and just the impact of AI. Because it's not just necessarily the search, it's about, the customers have so much information, for better or for worse, at their fingertips about your brand. And so, how do you feed the information that you want to be highlighted? How do you um, guard yourself against maybe some of the things that your competitors could exploit? And I posted something about this not long ago, just about how AI is a member of your marketing team now, whether you like it or not. And so, how do you use this tool that can help you immensely, but also, I mean, there's some things that you're going to have to guard against. Trying to figure that out. That's a long answer to the question, but um, between that and trying to figure out like what's the next social media platform to like not be on.
I think Sora is next. I think Sora is
Okay, that's
next.
the next one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. They're picking up with some pretty funny videos. Have you had a chance to check it out?
I have not yet. I have not.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think I think you still need like a personal, like an invite to the platform,
okay,
but
okay.
they make like videos now. So you know how images can be done with AI or in ChatGPT? So now they can do like 7 second, 6 second reels. So you have some really funny stuff. I know.
There's just so much, but hey, I don't have to record that myself, so
No,
maybe
you
maybe that'll.
don't. Yeah, yeah, it's such a sick tool. Like it's so sick. It's still very, it's kind of like where ChatGPT was probably 2 or 3 years ago right now. Like ChatGPT now is just so insane. But Sora is cool. It's you literally put in the prompt and you put in like the basically like the avatar of whoever, and then you can just go ahead and let your imagination run wild and get it to like put those videos together. So right now there is a time limit, and sometimes people come out looking a little like an alien, like your arm might be
Right,
like
yeah, they
this
have like
instead of
extra
like.
arms, right?
But those are, hey, those are little kinks. It's coming. It's coming close.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll check it out. I mean, I guess the good news about all of this AI is that the centers are needed to build this, and they need electricity, and solar is the best way
Yeah.
to get that. So
Yeah.
easy, like helps my marketing and gives me job security. So love AI.
I can see that you are a half full type of a cup
Right.
person.
Exactly. Yeah, I
I love
have to
it.
be.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that you mentioned earlier was very interesting. It's not just about how clients find you and the information that you're feeding them. It's also being aware of the two things. There is so much information out there, they can find whatever. How do you make sure that they find the things that you actually want them to find? But then the competitiveness, like 100%, there's a lot of things that now your competitors could really use for their advantage. um and maybe, come, around the
Yeah,
corner.
I mean, a lot of that, it's scary to think about how fast, that this information is available now.
Yeah.
But it's always been available. It just took a little longer to get there. So
Yeah.
I think, just again, AI isn't going to be the the ending point of the customer journey. It's, I think, squarely top to middle of the funnel. Um, it'll still be up to us, kind of, but maybe more now towards the bottom of the funnel, to tell the story and convey the messages that, our strengths and the things that we want to convey.
Yeah.
So again, like, I wish I had the answer to that question, but I think it's something we're all working through right now. It's like the future
Yeah.
remains to be seen.
It's all just such in the beginning phases, and again, something that we see not just only for our company. So we've been around for 25 years. We were one of the first companies to do SEO, which is insane, specifically for manufacturing companies in the United States. Like,
Oh,
how this is how we started. And to have seen the transformation that the company has taken to now being able to help our clients rank really high on all the AI based platforms, it's really cool to be on this end and just seeing how much it's transformed. And I think the really cool opportunity right now is that we are in a time and place where SEO was 20 years ago, where
right.
social media was in like 2007, like when crypto was, where crypto was, like where all these little waves that people kind of like missed out on. It's this is such a great opportunity, big, small. If you can, if the sorry, big company or small company, doesn't matter. If you can just get ahead with your content, you can take advantage of huge benefits that are going to trickle down just a little bit down the line in a couple of years, where everybody's going to be paying a lot of money to try and rank.
That's what I have been reading and seeing. So hopefully that's true. We're working on it. I feel like hopefully we're ahead of the game a bit, but
Mhm.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Is there any challenges that you're currently encountering with making that type of a transition and starting to think in those terms?
I think I've had a very supportive team just in general at Mission Solar around this. I think pretty much everyone on the team was around when SEO became a thing and saw the impact that it had. So it's an easy analogy to make, to be like, okay, yeah, remember when Google came on board and how
Yes.
it changed everything,
Yeah.
we're here again. I mean, and
Got it.
same. I mean, same with social media. And there's been so many kind of, really powerful things that have changed the marketing landscape over time. This, I think, might end up taking the cake of all of them at the end of the day. But yeah, I haven't really had a ton of challenges around it. People have been supportive. Just I think it is still so early on. It's just like, okay,
Yeah.
well, how do we do this? How do we do this well?
Yeah.
How do we do it in a way that is informative and useful and not just kind of AI spam, you know?
Yeah. AI spam. Yeah, that's a thing that probably will come down the pipeline for sure.
I mean,
How are they gonna clean that up? I don't know, but
I don't know.
the
And like writing content in a way that doesn't sound like AI. Because now I can
yeah,
spot that from a mile away now. So like, okay,
humanize, humanize, do
yeah,
it again and again
humanize.
and
Yes,
again.
make it sound like a human. Um, Yeah, I mean, but hey, one other thing to add, like one thing that has remained constant, I think, over all of this time is email marketing. I still feel like email marketing is a really great way to reach people, um, and that's something that hasn't really changed at all. So,
Yeah. What is it about email marketing that you find that is still like working really well for you?
well, I think it's that one-to-one communication. It is very affordable compared to a lot of other advertising methods. And now, we have things like HubSpot and, ways to customize the marketing so it's really, reaching the correct audience, the correct time. And,
Yeah.
there's a lot that can be done with it. And, the content that you're writing for email can be repurposed for your website and, help with the AI, help with your SEO. Social media. So I think like
Yeah.
any good piece of content that you create, you should be able to use it like three or four different ways.
Yes.
Um, and email is a good starting point for a lot of that because you really have to have your end customer in mind whenever you're writing that email because it is specifically for them, and it helps build out the rest of the content pieces over other channels.
Another reason why I really like email marketing is the automation. Like you can actually think ahead. Like if you're doing a drip campaign, you can think ahead like 10 steps ahead of
Yep.
time and then collect the analytics to really understand like is it working, is it not, and
Yeah.
then pivot on the next one. That's my favorite thing about digital marketing. So I've been in marketing now 15 years.
Since you were
So
like five.
yeah,
Awesome.
no, since I was 20. But yeah, so you're funny. But yeah, it's been the I remember when I started fresh out of university, college, there was still a mix of traditional marketing and digital marketing, and we didn't quite know where to spend more. It was kind of like you're doomed if you don't, and like the other way around.
Right, right.
And now, just seeing the analytics, it just makes no sense for people to invest in anything else, especially anything that won't provide you analytics unless, I don't know, you're Pepsi or Coke and you're still
Right,
doing like halftime shows and you have the budget for it.
right,
But for all other businesses, big or small, that's the beauty of it. Like if you just focus on the analytics and feeding your clients and the algorithm and the searchability engines what they need in order to rank you, like it doesn't matter on your budget that much, to be honest. Like organic content still is very important because you can't put money behind not content that is not good. You're just gonna your
right,
cost is
right.
gonna drive up, so it's gonna be so high.
Yeah. Yeah, I worked well in between my time when I was at Mission Solar before and now I worked for food manufacturing and we were competing with huge brands, not necessarily to the scale of Coca-Cola and Pepsi, but large, very large brands, and they had the ability to do these huge brand marketing campaigns and super affordable for them because they were able to afford that reach. But
Yeah.
for smaller manufacturers, it's tough. And yeah, and digital is definitely the way to go.
100%. If you had one piece of advice as being, specifically in the manufacturing field, specifically in marketing, for companies that are still really relying on traditional ways of marketing or not paying attention to their digital print? What piece of advice can you leave them with here today?
Again, I think it's like make smart investments. Don't spend a lot of money on advertising outside of digital. It's not going to be worth it. um, Pay attention to where your customer is and find those like smaller moments that you can connect with them. Invest in digital, but also invest in making sure you have a strong brand. There's so many different channels that you can advertise on, and chances are your customers are going to see you on a few of them. And you want to make sure that you're showing up consistently and and authentically on every channel. So I think that that's really, yes, we have all of these great ways to advertise now to get ourselves out there, but making sure that we are consistent across all of those channels is a challenge and something that companies should really focus on.
I totally agree. Yeah. Like names of companies. Is it the short version? Is it the long version? Which one
I
is
don't
it,
know which
friends?
one.
Awesome, Laura. Well, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I had a great time. I hope you did as
Yes, I
well.
did too. I did too.
Awesome.
Thank you
Okay.
so much for having me.
Of course. You're so welcome. Okay, bye.